All right, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all.
Happy
You know,
Friday, for sure.
we're back at 67 Social. I'm Mignon, you know, aka Miss Mean to you and you and you. But, you know, so we're here with all our beautiful energies and our beautiful selves. So, again, I'm going to let my people introduce themselves.
How you doing?
Ladies first.
I am Ashira Yahweh.
It's your boy Money Mitch.
I'm Mike the Sage.
Mike the Sage. So we got.
Stage
Come on,
name,
come on,
right?
let's go back.
Yeah,
Let's go
stage
back.
name. I know that's right. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm a sage.
The Sage.
Define it
Money.
for the audience.
Intellectual.
Ashira, the what? The goddess? Ashira?
Yeah.
So we got Money Sage, goddess, Sage, money. How can we all like put that
Collaborate.
together? How can that
all
all
goes
come like
together.
together?
Money, power, respect.
Oh, that part. That
Money,
part.
power,
But since
respect.
we talking about money, power, and respect,
The
The
locks.
right way.
y'all gonna put some respect on
The locks name.
nah,
Who?
the Diddler's name.
Who is that?
Huh?
Who is that?
The dealer?
The Diddler.
Puff
They
Daddy.
call him the Diddler now.
You talking about Puff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Man, that's tough.
Slide.
That's real tough, you know.
He like
That
the
guy.
baby boy. I understand.
He like
So-
the glide.
I'll kick this off, right?
Okay.
Because I got a theory on
right.
how we should approach this, right?
Thank you.
Now, I got sent the details on what we was talking about Puffy, right? So I'm like, what can I say about Puff? So the first thing I said, okay, it's kind of three ways that you kind of assess people. First, personally, right? But we giving our opinion. So we giving judgment, right? People say it's opinion, but it's really judgment.
Yeah.
First is personally. But here's why we can't really give a valid opinion personally. Puffy got a different mindset. You know what I mean? He wealthy. When you got, he living off all his cash, right? We don't have the same type of, we ain't living the same type of way. So every day, right, when you make your daily decisions, you filter that through your financial institution, right? How much money you got.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just think about a person always don't have to worry about how much money he spent. You know what I mean? So
That's one less problem.
that's one less problem. So we can't really come at him on a personal level because we don't understand his biochemistry. You know what I mean? His psychology is different from ours. Secondly, legally, right? Legally, he has the right to a fair trial. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
Now,
He has
yes.
the right to presumed innocence
Until proven
guilty. So
dildo, baby oil guilty.
there you go. As we can't touch his constitutional rights,
That
right?
is true.
We can't step on that. The same way we can't do it if a young black kid gets shot. And what do? They try to make his character become a part of the reason why he got shot, right?
Yeah.
So we got to leave that alone. That's just because we gonna say in righteous indignation, man, he still had the right to live. You don't got the right to take nobody's right, no matter how they are.
Yeah.
Same thing with Puffy, right? You can't take his rights because
He got his due diligence.
he got the right to due process.
Yeah, he
right?
got it.
He got a right to due process.
Yeah.
And here's why. I'm gonna tell you the second part to the legal part, right? What if we all saw him beat Cassie, right? We
Yeah.
all saw the video, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what if it comes out that the reason that he beat her is because she gave him an STD or AIDS? Don't that change your perspective? So that's part of due process. The last part we can't do morally, right? Morally we can't judge him either because
Absolutely.
as a
Yes.
human being, if as a human, right, just think about it like this. If they took your life and put it on display, because that's all Puffy life
That's all
is
it
on
is
display.
right now.
They take your life, all the skeletons that's in your closet, everything you ever done in your life, and they put you on trial in public. How would you feel about what people got to say about that, about your life? You know what I'm saying? Like how could we as humans attack him personally? You know what I'm saying? Because he a human just like us. We don't get the right to judge what he did, but I'm gonna keep it real though, and all that.
A little bit?
I'm just no. This the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna pass the mic out. This is the only thing I'm gonna say. I believe he got a little freaky because he had some different, different set of friends and different type of tax bracket that he in, and I just believe he got a little kinky. And that's the furthest I'm gonna go with it. So I gave my little reasons why I feel like as people we can't really attack him like that.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
We really can't attack him because we don't know the circumstances behind the situations. What led up to that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody make their own decisions. They chose to be in that situation. You could have left.
Yep.
12 o'clock, you say, hey, 12 o'clock, you get freaky at these hours. hey, you gonna stay? Hey, you ready to get freaky. Everybody on them tapes, they running
Signing
behind.
papers.
CEO stepping down, they resigning.
Indeed.
Shit finna come out. Gonna hit the fan. You feel me?
So what y'all
So, he did what he did, you know what I'm saying? And if people put themselves in them situations, them circumstances, you gotta live on that. You gotta stand on that, you know what I'm saying? Of course, they seen all the 1,000-bottle lotion and all the baby oil and all that type of shit. You feel
But that's his choice.
Bathtub like 75,000 dildos. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really good, but motherfuckers grown. They grown. What? You can't follow a grown motherfucker doing what they want to do.
Yeah,
You
that's
free.
his
I'm with
choice.
you.
That's his lifestyle. That's what he live. You chose to be around that man.
Yeah.
So
You
we
chose to
come-
be in that circumstance. You chose to be in that crowd. You know what I'm
So
saying?
like this does not happen, y'all, by the way. But so example, so if like 67 social turned into like a whole freaknik like after hours or something like that, everybody knows that this what happens and y'all stay. You know what I mean? And then something start happening. It's like the same kind of thing, and we start blaming like the back scenes of the owners for doing
gotcha.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But you know what happens, at least if you stayed one time. You know what I mean? We give everybody benefit of the doubt. You may have stayed like one time. So at that point, now you do have your choice. You know what I mean? If you're going to keep going to the parties, staying past a certain hours at these parties.
Right.
So like my
Well,
thing
also.
is like from like, of course, like what everybody else is doing, watching YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. If a man say like, hey, money, sage, you know, I'm gonna sage the room with this money. You know what I mean? Like, take this shirt off. You know what I mean? Y'all looking too good. Like, why y'all just up in here? There's ladies in here. Take your shirt off. Now he put you in a compromising position.
What
You
you
know
gonna
what I mean?
do?
What are you gonna do?
Cause he
So
got
that's
my
when
money.
you have your chance to say, I'm about to leave. You know what I mean? I'm
Ain't
gonna
on
F
that, boy. You
for
feel
F
me?
for a buck. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Because he's already tampering. That's why they say a lot of homosexual men do not just hit on heterosexual men because they already know like what kind of comes with that. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So if you're at that kind of a party and the man says to you, man, fam, take your shirt off. I like the tattoos. I want to see more of that. Pull it out. I want to see your nipples. I want to see all that darkness. Pull it out. You know what I mean? And y'all like, okay, I don't really want to, but I'm gonna want to. You know what I mean?
That's your
It's
choice.
like,
Yeah, that's
so
your
now
choice. That's your
he is
decision.
as a predator because no, I'm not defending him. You know what I mean? By no means, that
No.
nigga is a predator. You know what I mean? That we're gonna call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Yes. We know even back in the R. Kelly days, there was a lot of girls our age, you know what I mean, that was like acting older just to put themselves in those situations. So that goes back to the group that you're talking about. But he allows everyone a choice. The day he says, take your shirt off. I'm going to see your nipples. I want to see this and I want to see that. And he puts it out there way before.
Let me say this to you, right? Do you really think it's a choice? Because it's a power dynamic there.
It's
Because he
very
got
much a
money.
power play.
It's like your boss. When they come ask you something,
Mm-hmm.
is it the same as a regular person asking you something? So do you really have a choice
Yeah.
in your mind?
No,
Yes,
they
I'm
obviously
good.
don't.
Yes,
you do
He
have
was
a
the
choice.
same guy that gave
Yes,
him a
you
choice
do.
to walk across the bridge for a
Yes,
cheesecake
you
and they
do.
walked. You know what I mean? So that was way before butt plugs and baby oil and all
But
this
they was
stuff
willing
came
to do that for
They
their
walked
career.
across that bridge for a slice of cheesecake for this
But
man.
they
That
was
is
willing.
power. You know what I mean?
They gave up their will to choose.
That's
that.
what I mean. That's
You have to give up your will to choose it.
They
Y'all
signed
tell me
off
that
on
presented
that.
it. It's just
Go to
like,
y'all head
oh,
a little bit.
They
No.
signed off on that. You feel?
Yeah, they chose that. So it's not his fault in that sense of it. If I say, oh, pick this,
You
and
put
pick
him in
that.
that power. You
Pick
gave
a,
him that
pick
power
an
over
apple
you.
or pick a steak.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it right there. So you said, what would you just say?
You gave him that power over you. You signed that contract. You signed that dollar line. You know what comes behind.
You know
All
what?
right, so we're gonna
It's
leave that right there.
self-explanatory. You
No,
gonna
no,
make
no,
it-
we
Are
can't
you
leave
gonna
it
make
there. I
it
gotta
or
give
not?
my, no, let me get my opinion.
Okay,
That's
get
your
No, no,
choice.
'cause
You
you
gonna go
cut
with
me
it?
off.
What they tell you is what it say? Or you gonna read that dollar line? Hey,
Read
flick
the
that
dollar
around.
line.
Hey, flick that around. Joe, need to what's going on with this, Joe? Hold on, fam. Well, no, I ain't going for that. You feel me? No.
Man, that drinking the system.
You know what I'm
now,
saying?
Ain't nobody looking at that.
That's your choice.
You know what I mean? You
Because
You make that decision. I don't care how much money on the table.
Thank you.
I don't care how much money on that table.
But it,
Because
Joe.
being in modeling and acting, a
You
lot of
talking about
jobs
doing
come
this?
to you.
Nah,
They
I
want
ain't
you
gonna
to take off your top. They want you
Okay.
to do this and do that. You have a choice.
Right.
A lot of my choices like no. Then they say, well, you won't get as far. Well, then that's all right. I'll take the scenic route.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna go there. It's always a choice. You have to surrender your will. He just say, well, you willing to do it. Everybody has different things going on in their life. They need the money, so they're like, well, let me go ahead and do this to get this money.
Everybody's
But
motives
other
are
people
different.
be like, well, money, I'm not going to sell myself or my soul or my dignity, so let me not do it. It's always a choice.
Right.
So
Sure.
do I put all the blame on Puffy? No, absolutely not. I met him before. I met R. Kelly before. They were lovely people. They didn't come there, took the picture, did the little interview or did the little talking, and that was that. But it goes off of energy too. People know
Energy and
who
age
gonna go for it.
You feel?
Right.
People know like, oh, I'm not gonna try them because they ain't gonna go. But other
just-
people will.
Let me say this: you a singer or R&B star. You want to be a star, and you know Puffy is a gatekeeper, and you really, really want your career to take off. You really want this.
No matter what.
He put you in a precarious situation where that's not really your choice. It's kind of like when if
No, that's a choice.
No,
I'm walking
no,
up out of
that's-
that.
no,
That's
it
a
is-
choice.
it
That's
is
tough.
still
You want to stand in that, or you gonna get up out of that?
Yeah.
You feel me? Dead ass.
I'm
man.
saying if your dreams on the line.
No, it's
No,
not
your
on the line.
dreams-
It's always
No way, Kim. Don't be a
Yo,
dream
yo,
killer.
yo,
Don't
listen,
be
yo,
a
hey,
dream
listen,
killer.
No,
No, you
you
trying to make it all one
No,
thing.
no,
It's all one.
your purpose on the line. Your purpose is on the line, and you gonna say
Hey.
which one you gonna.
So you're not gonna take the
trade
shirt
in.
off.
I'll go
Go ahead and
here.
take your shirt off.
I'm gonna go over here and be a
But
one-hit
you know
wonder.
what? No, because
You
it's
feel?
something I want to do, and it's always, well, you got to do this and you got to do that even now. It's always a no. So it's
okay,
still,
so
and
you got
I
this
really
crunch.
want to do it.
So back to what you were saying, Sage. Back to it's this crunch time. You know what I mean? You go into this party, and all they telling you to do
Is take your
is take your shirt off.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? Baby boy, you got AAU camp fees, you know what I mean? Like, you got tuition due.
You gonna take that shirt off?
What?
So then, there you go. There you got it.
No. You can't. That don't count because it's you a female.
Female,
So
Right. So
we
y'all
talking
saying
about.
y'all gonna be like,
we
like
talking
that,
about a
I
man
understand.
that's
I
putting you
know.
in a compromising
Right.
situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I have to.
Right.
Only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at it through. If I was in that situation, what would I do?
Yeah.
Would I take my shirt off if Puffy asked me to take my shirt
Or
off?
would you be like, man, fam, you got me messed up as a man. You would stand on your business, check him in front of
At
everybody.
this
What would
age,
you do?
soul,
at
I'm
this
checking
Even
his
with
ass.
that, you said it.
No, I'm saying at
I'm
this
checking,
age,
man.
at this
I'm not
age,
taking
yes,
no.
I have the capacity to say no.
So now you got the willpower.
But
I can say no.
Hey,
if you
I
ask
ain't
me
one of them, fam.
anywhere between 18 and 25 or 32, it's a possibility I might would have tried.
Definitely, you
Because
been in the gym. You been
Ain't gonna happen, Joe.
You
Ain't
say
gonna-
leg day.
it just
you know what
depend-
I mean? You out here. You like, okay.
Because it's gonna escalate from that situation.
Absolutely.
Oh, you took your
no,
shirt
it's
off.
not.
Yes, it is. It always.
There
Take your shirt, take your pants off. Take your drawers
I'm
off.
saying, no.
You already got your shirt on.
Let me
I
see
feel
my
you.
big
I
in
feel
your
you.
booty.
You're
It's
not-
always more.
You're not gonna put the shirt back on.
It's always more.
I feel him.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you young, you don't know no better
No.
though. Somebody.
Yes, you do know that.
You gonna let them stick your fingers in your booty?
Back to what he was saying.
Like, come on.
You are
Are you
young.
gonna let him,
Okay.
18, you would have let him stick his finger in your booty?
Absolutely not.
You said you between 18 and 25.
I said
you was gonna go.
No, I said it's a
So you
possibility. I said it's a possibility.
Okay, what's the possibility? Hey, take off your shirt, take off your pants.
Here's why. I'm gonna explain why. You don't develop your full brain capacity to after you turn 25, right? So anything before that, you're not developed enough to make a sound decision, which they don't always give you that like in criminal cases and stuff like that. But in reality, though, you what's called an emerging adult. That's anywhere between 18 and 25. You what's called an emerging adult. You're not established. You don't have your own crib. You're living at home with your mama. You don't have insurance. You don't have a car note. You're not stable. You don't have a stable income So you're gonna make a thirsty decision. So if Puffy came at an 18 or 24, which that's who most of
your
his
shirt
victims
off.
are, take your shirt off.
That's
Go get some cheese.
certain situations.
You going to do that?
Stand on that.
You going to do that?
I was on a whole nother level when I was that
And
age.
you've been
type
in the
shit,
gym,
you
ladies
feel
and
me?
gentlemen. This is what
Yeah,
they're not
yeah.
saying.
I
You've
know
been
I
in
would have
the
got
gym.
him some cheesecake.
Come on now. And not even thinking
would've
the
got-
in y'all defense.
I would have got him some
Just because he
cheesecake if I was
puffy?
18
No,
years
it's
old.
not just because he puffy. Look at it like
can't-
this. It's women there. It's not just at this time when he's grooming, when he's baiting, when he's putting his predator bait out there. You know what I mean? He's asking a person that in front of a group of people.
So what does that mean, though?
That means a lot of times the weaker-minded people will allow themselves to believe they're doing it for the women in the room. Even though Puppy said, take your shirt off. I am going to, nobody can lie to you, lie to you better than you can lie to yourself type of thing. You know what I mean? So if I tell myself I'm at this party and yeah, I kind of feel uncomfortable because you asked me to take this shirt off, but she's here cheering me on. If I just focus right in on her, you know what I mean? I may be willing to do it and forget that you asked me to do it. Especially at that impressionable type of age.
Yes.
That you're saying, and you coming from nothing. And this is a person that's saying, hey, I give you a demo. Man, all you gotta do is come to this party, enjoy
But
some
some
time.
people did all that and still didn't get nothing.
Well, we know that happened, but we talking about the predator of the things. That's why he's wrong. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
he's
I can't say
he's
he's
wrong.
I can't say he's I can't say nothing about
No.
him.
Right.
Okay.
Because
On that
morally, I really can't put myself in that situation
Right.
because we can't play God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I said legally we got to stand on he has the right to a fair trial, due process.
Absolutely.
And then personally, you have a different biochemistry when you have that much money.
Yeah.
You
That power,
you don't have no I gotta wait. No, you don't got no conscience for
don't got no
nothing. Just like
conscience.
today, right? I'm gonna give you a perfect example.
conscience.
Today I went to the currency exchange. I had to get the stickers for my cars. They try to charge me $15 just to use my debit card. I told him, hell no. I walked up out of there. $15 was too much for me.
Yeah.
For a person like Puffy, his psychology, you ain't even doing that. You ain't thinking about $15. So you don't have that same your psychology influences your biology, right?
Okay.
In this way, right? Just like the
Okay.
placebo effect. If they give you a pill and you mentally think this pill is
It's
gonna help your
working.
biological
Yeah.
dysfunction, like a cancer or something,
Yeah.
it changes that. They got scientific studies that say it does change
Yes.
that. So just think, this man, since we've been alive basically the last 20, 30 years, he done had multi-millions and billions of dollars. So his mental is not the same as ours.
Fabric has
Right.
His
ran
fabric,
differently
absolutely.
now.
So he
Yeah.
got to be just like they say, a jury of your peers, right?
Yes, sir.
He
Of
should
your
be.
peers.
He should be judged by people that got that much
That's
money,
money.
because we don't know what it feels like for you. The depths of
see
your
that.
desires, like the degree you held by the degree of your desires. Whatever. Just think about. I can't go to Dubai tomorrow.
Right. just come back and then
I
go
ain't
to
set up
Paris.
like that
Yeah,
financially.
yeah,
I'm not set up like that to
exactly.
just.
Okay.
But he can go to Dubai right now. That's a different mental psychology. So
Yeah.
number one, you can't. You as a regular layman person, you can't judge him really, because you don't know how he feels as a very wealthy man. Legally, you can't do it, and morally, God got to swing that sword. You can't swing that sword, because we always say karma. Your karma come. Only thing you essentially saying is when you saying somebody karma, you just saying God then came down and made a
Yes,
decision.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? God then and he give us all freedom of choice to say, okay, get your shit together. If you don't, like the FBI, they'll watch you do all kind of shit. But when you ain't got your shit together, they finna come knocking on your. That's what God do. He give you a chance to get your life together and get it together. But when he feel like the devil got you, oh man, it's over with.
Well,
It's over with.
We're going to get off of Puffy for a second.
All right,
and
I'm
I'm
done
going
with
to
it, Puff.
piggyback. No, I'm just going to piggyback
Free
on
Puff.
that. Like,
The deal.
you did learn, right?
Hey, Puffy, don't be
Hey,
You
calm.
did
hey.
learn.
Hey,
You
boy.
got them lawyers, my boy.
You did learn. That's right.
Don't let them freeze your bag,
Don't be a
man.
dollar, homie. Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna talk
play
my way up
certain
on a few
numbers.
million out that Vic right now.
man,
But
That's right.
I'm
going from there, okay, so you're absolutely right. That's a whole totally different category, and none of us really should be judging him like that, even though we are. It is for
sure.
sure.
Everyone.
But back to another judging type of category, like y'all getting catfished and like really going for like the filter fishes out here in the world. You know what I mean? Like, how can we pull that whole conversation into like real today's date? You know what I mean?
I mean, because society is superficial right now. Everybody is pretending to have more than what they really do. Same thing with looks. Looks is no different. It's a form of currency.
Yes.
People pretend to have more than what they really do. Physically, you gonna get online because you can hide, slide, divide how you look, and you gonna pretend to have more than what you, just like people that drive nice cars and dress. If you see a person and he dressed down in $800 jeans, he can't afford that unless you a rapper and got that type of money. So, bro, you really broke.
Right.
I know you broke.
Right.
Them $800 jeans, you got some on every day.
Yeah.
Either you scamming or you really, even if you scamming, you really broke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
'Cause you
all it
scamming
really
against
is.
the-
We have bought into people pretending to have more than what they really got. You know, that's pretty much what it boils down to. We done decided to say, hey, if a person seemed like, if it looked like a duck, and it quacked like a duck, it's a duck. But in reality, that's not how it really goes.
They be pigeons.
Because that's like Mobb Deep had a line in their song where it said, if you look close, you can see the bricks chipped off. You know what I mean? If you look close enough, if you examine something closely, you will see it ain't real.
Right.
It's a clown.
Right.
Just rub the makeup off. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we don't though.
Absolutely.
You know, but you have to be superficial. Meaning it's just you shallow. You got to be deep to really try to figure out who a person is or
That's
who
right.
a woman
That's
really
the key.
is. You know what I
That's
mean?
the
You don't
key.
care. Shit, you just
That's
trying
the
to get
key.
laid. Shit,
You got to really get to
That's
know
all.
a person to really know. You can look at them, okay, oh, you look good as hell, you know what I'm saying, like the bam. But to actually meet that person and know who that person is, it's totally different from being online.
For sure.
You can go for that online shit, oh damn, okay, she tell me I'm sending cash out, okay, whoa, shit. But that ain't her. Take all that shit off.
Absolutely.
You a totally different motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get you sucker. Take the leg
Yes.
off. Take the arm off. Kick that shoe
Absolutely.
over there. Who are you?
What's that? I'm gonna get you sucker. What was
Yeah.
that movie?
Yeah, you feel?
Indeed.
That's real though.
Yeah, that's
I like my
really is.
woman natural.
Me too.
No makeup, nothing.
No
I need
makeup.
to see you for you.
For sure.
Let me love your flaws. Let me know your imperfections.
Let me see what I'm buying.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
okay, so that sounds good, and that sounds check it on off and all that stuff. But what happens is, because of propaganda and how social media is like really pushing the narrative, although you may be saying like you want a natural woman and you want a natural woman, y'all could be at home with that same natural woman and that natural woman see y'all liking lace front bitches. You know what I mean? Eyelash bitches, twerking chicks, you know what I mean? They see y'all liking everything that you say that you're
Don't
totally against.
But
But-
that's,
What do you-
That's
that's what
difference.
it is.
But I think it's more or less like a and it's false advertisement, right? In a sense, right? Because it's kind of like if I like something that I see, that don't mean that I'll wife it. That don't mean that I'll really take it seriously. I just look at it as like art. It's an art form, you know. So it's, if I see something that's artistic, a woman is she dressed up, that's artistic to me.
That was so cute.
I don't really want
That's
to
the
be
new
with her.
2025 artistic. You know?
I don't really want to be with her, but you look good though. Click, like, heart. You know what I mean?
Artistic. Like,
That's like the African dude. He married his wife. You feel me?
Who?
This African guy. He married the woman. I'm talking about dead up. I'm talking about beautiful. Got to the crib, took all that makeup, all that off. I'm talking about
he
out of
divorced her.
that ASAP.
What?
You feel me?
He left her whole print.
left
She
her.
left the
It-
print on the
yes,
face, on the-
divorce.
She left.
All that. You know what I'm saying? Because she took all the makeup off, everything.
I
I'm talking
believe
about-
that.
I believe
She
because
wasn't what she presented to
Listen,
him.
But how did you marry her before
what
she?
I'm
because he kept makeup on
She
all the
kept
time.
the
That's
makeup
what
on.
people
He
do.
keep up
Always
makeup
kept that
all the
makeup
time. I don't wear none.
I
And I know I don't know about makeup, but I know if you
Keep
keep it
up
on
makeup
thick, it might
all the
fuck
time.
your skin.
If you wear it
I have
every
a-
day,
You know
it
what
will
I'm
mess
saying?
up the pores and make
That's what I'm saying.
it
You can't
messes
breathe,
up and
right?
make you look old.
I believe in
Right.
makeup,
Yeah.
right? I think it's
Nothing wrong with
I
that,
think
yes,
I think
right?
it's to accentuate your beauty,
Yeah.
not be your beauty.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Say
Like,
again.
it
That's
should,
nothing
it should
different.
make it. It should make it a
That's
little
right.
bit
Don't be
better.
your beauty.
So
It should though. It should make you a little bit. It should give you a little bit. But you didn't put on a whole face.
Yeah.
You didn't put on a whole costume. It should accentuate your lips. It should make your lips look better.
Right.
It shouldn't.
Exactly.
You shouldn't
Draw
draw your
on
whole
another
face.
face.
That's
Right.
your lips full when you really got baby down.
You
kissing
can cut your whole
lips, you know what
eyebrows
I
off
mean?
and then you can drew them on.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
You should left them on, just line them up. You feel me?
Yeah.
And my whole thing will be that, like, eventually you gonna have to come. That's like I tell men this all the time, right? This my thing with men. Be who you are, because at some point somebody gonna snatch that curtain up off you. You know what I mean? Somebody
Yeah.
gonna snatch. You ain't that tough, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't
Nah,
that
man.
hard.
Yeah.
So just be
So,
yourself,
be
because
you.
I don't
Exactly.
care who
Gotta
you
be
are.
you.
Somebody gonna snatch that curtain from you, and you gonna have to really jump out the wood.
Stand on that.
You have to stand on that. What you
You
talking
feel
about?
me?
So
Oh,
I
so-
encourage people to just be yourself. Be your authentic self. The same thing with women. Be your authentic self, because at some point
Yeah.
you gonna have to be revealed
that.
for who you
That-
really
That
are.
curtain gonna get pulled
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
The curtain gonna get pulled back.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but that's what I think a lot of times already is happening. I don't think a lot of people want to admit that that's what happened, but I think that's what them fickle relationships. You know what I mean? I'm like little
course.
small trials of things. You know what I mean?
Of
Like,
course.
yeah, y'all got together off the facade, off the mirage. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then
Right.
somebody fell in that
Fumbled
situation.
that
Now
bag.
fumbled a bag. You know what I mean? Now you're no longer talking, but that instant connection was a $2 bill, that wooden nickel. You know what I mean? So if you get tired of that after so long, you have to come to the table authentically yourself.
Yes.
Because again, you easily weed out the people that's for you and not for you immediately.
I'm gonna tell you why.
You know.
I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna break it down for you, right? We live in what's called a microwave society where people want stuff right now. And Steve Harvey did get it right. He said at least wait 90 days. He was talking about women, but I think in general you should wait 90 days. Because they got a saying, right? It's called reality is the biggest stool pitch. It tells on everybody.
It
It's the
does.
biggest snitch.
It can
Reality
always
is the
bring it
biggest
down.
snitch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after about 90 days,
You gonna see
especially
that
for a
person.
man, if you sit back and you watch close enough
You feel?
and examine, they will reveal themselves for who they. But we want something so bad. I've been a victim of it. We want something so bad. This idealism is just you dealing how things should be,
Yeah,
what you
as in-
ideally
yeah.
want. But in reality, it ain't what that. You got to
And
be
you
patient.
can't get that. You
I
can't
ain't
attain
patient.
that.
It's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to
it
be,
is.
and I'm very disciplined, and it's hard to be patient enough to figure out who you dating, who you laying in bed with. We follow our impulse so much. It's kind of hard not to, fall for the wrong person, in my opinion. So I just think we just got to be diligent about
So
being
you saying
patient.
a lot of us out here in these filtered relationships? They
Of
filtered?
course,
They're
they
filtered.
In the
all
beginning.
filters.
Everybody got their representative. Everybody and everything.
Right.
There's somebody always stand the person in front. But then that's when you sit back and you can really pick up who people really are.
For sure. They call it your pseudo.
Yes.
Right.
So the representative always come out, but if you just wait long enough, like you said, but if you really sit back even in the beginning, a person always tell on themselves. They always got some type of.
Here we go. Say this. Just like, I'm not going to make it a man-woman thing, right? But women oftentimes say this, right? They always say, he tricked me. He did this. He did that. I didn't. Yes, you did, though. Because I guarantee you, at some point during that relationship, he gave you a red flag. You just chose
not
to
to
not
see
to look
it.
at
You
it,
chose
or
not to see it.
you put a skirt on it.
Or-
you know what I
or-
mean? So
or
don't
you took
tell
up
me
for it.
you took up for it.
People
So
take up for people when
we-
you should just let people
yes,
just be them.
we get
let
what
them
we got
destroy
coming
themselves
in a relationship.
Yeah.
We get what we got coming because
Yeah.
everybody show you who they are. We
Absolutely.
just choose to say, and I only say,
and that's ASAP though. That's
That's
ASAP.
quick.
It's not 90 days. You gonna know who that person
No,
is.
some people good at
ASAP.
pretending though, because
Just
just like
Everybody
oh,
that
No.
You can only
You
pretend for so
pretend
long
man.
though.
True.
You can only pretend for so
No,
long.
I got a story too.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. I'm
pretend
gonna let
for so
you go.
long.
Then I'm gonna go because I got one. I
You
got
feel
one
me?
for
Let-
that.
Because
let
if you're
him.
with that person, the routine's gonna come out. The way they move, the way they talk, everything's gonna come out. It's gonna come natural because they're gonna feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be no uptight. Oh, I gotta be this way. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta be this. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Your master gonna slip like, damn, okay, fuck. Who walked the bed? You feel?
If that ain't really you.
That ain't you. So
Some people
Who
can
is
hide
this?
for 10 years.
Oh, I ain't know you did just like this. You feel
Some
me?
people
That
can hide
90
for 10
days. You said
No,
that 90
90
days. It
Go
should
ahead.
come out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on, let her finish.
But you know what I'm saying? That's just me. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And the conversation leads to a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna know that person's mindset if you can hold a conversation with that person on the intellectual state. You know what I'm saying? It's not just quick. Bam,
But some
bam,
people
bam,
be
thank
still
you.
lying. People just say anything just to go along with you. If they really want you, they bait you along. Like, for instance, I know this person, and they was in a relationship. They married young. The person was older, but the other person was younger.
Who was the person, a man or a woman?
The man and the woman. The woman was younger. The man was older.
Okay.
But the man was a true mastermind. That he can make anybody believe he's just that abracadabra. He can make anybody believe anything
Most
and
men
do it
like
for
that.
years. No. This finesse was
Some better than others. Yeah, some.
but this finesse person, like
He was
if you
cold.
meet them, you'll think, oh, whatever this man presents,
He was
you
cold.
really think he really is.
He
You
was
have to
cold.
really sit back and watch him. But she fell for the trick, and she took up for him when we was like, no. Don't go this way. She's like, oh, no, he this and that. But like you said, it's always a red flag. But then later on, find out he's a murderer. He a murderer. He a drug dealer.
I don't know what red flags you get
Nothing
for
wrong
that.
with a drug dealer. Nothing wrong with a murderer. Because in every sense of
called
everybody's life. No. Because there's a time for war and there's a time for peace. There's a time to take somebody out. When a
Right.
person disrespecting you and doing everything, then you need to check them or they got to get out of here.
You gonna know your man. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just me. This is my opinion.
But
This is
the
my
person
opinion.
young, too.
I'm going to know.
No, but some
if
people,
I'm laying down with like lame ass Byron. Or like Tyrone.
No, you
it's eventually.
No, you won't.
Like you said, so you
no, you won't. No, they'll play.
you tell me never.
Some people will play games. Some people will play games
Never
with you
ever.
and
Never
have you
ever.
on the merry-go-round.
So let me break it
Okay.
down. Let me break it down for
Thank
y'all,
you.
right?
Okay,
Let me break it down.
for me.
We all probably are the same age group, right?
Okay.
And we do believe our generation is the last of a dying breed. Just think about it.
is.
When we were
Yes.
kids,
It
when we
is.
were younger,
Yes.
We are.
people were who they say they were. Gangsters
Right.
was gangsters, players was players, ball players. Everybody
Everybody
had
had their
their
position.
individuality.
In they lane.
Nowadays, you can't tell who is who. You know what I mean?
Right.
You really can't tell who is who because people have mastered the lingo. It's so much. You have so much access to information and
To
how
be whoever
to
you
be
wanna
whoever
be.
you want to be.
That
Exactly.
is true.
To be
That
whoever
is true.
you want
That's
to be.
why you can go
That's
get a
why
new
it's
body.
harder.
That's why you can go
So you
put a
tell
bunch
I
of
could be laying
makeup
there with a
and put a
fake ghost
wig.
just because he done told me a story he never did.
That's
nothing.
why a lot of
and then I could be
transgenders can fake being a woman.
Or
And
man.
a lot of men might not know.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You know.
you know that strong ass jawline. I'm sorry, I'm not going there tonight.
Wait.
We're not going there. We're not getting booted up there. We just got a couple shows.
Adam's out.
Great, shit. You know,
You know
that
some.
strong ass jawline let you know that was a man friend. You know what I mean?
But some women
But
got a strong ass
that's the
jawline.
day and age now, though. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
we just live in a new
That's a
age.
dead
We
age
live
now,
in
you
a,
know what I'm saying?
Yes, we live in a new age, Sodom and
feel me?
Gomorrah.
Yes,
we live in
definitely.
this a new modern day. People are able to come out and be who you are, and it's a lot of that going on. So it is hard to tell who is who, but I know another man.
Right. Yeah. Hey, but certain dudes, they may know,
Okay,
but
I
they
just
gonna
like
accept and they gonna go with it.
Because this how I know.
Just with the.
This how I know.
They
Hey,
gonna
had
take their
trans-
shirt off at the puffy party.
No,
Them the
no,
ones that's gonna go.
no. I've been a man. I've been a
Well, I'm
man.
saying,
I was fully going back to the
No.
puppy shit.
Listen to me. I've been a man over 40 years. Over 40 years I've been a
You
man.
feel?
I know what that looks like. I know what that walk like. I know what that
Right.
talk like. I don't care how you try to assimilate or dress it up. I know what that look like. So another man just like me, he know what that look like. That's just what he want.
That's what I'm saying.
And then
choice.
that's
He
what's
wanted
called
that.
after that.
You feel?
After that. That's what you got called plausible deniability. You damn, I ain't know.
Yes, you did.
You
I was drunk.
knew what you
When
was
his
sliding up there.
voice broke, you
On
knew.
my soul.
definitely
Yeah.
know. You know.
And where that 40 at?
That's a man. That's why they say. That's where they say it
I
come
was just
from.
smoking last night.
It take one to know one. It take
that's
one to
one
know
to know
one.
one,
A man should know
Yeah.
another man when you see
Oh,
one.
my
I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Now I watched the Maury show too, And the few of them I done just looked at aesthetically and be like, I don't know. But if I got to talk to you and deal with you, because I believe in, like, I'm an observer. I've always said that, like, people that really observe, they have a different psychology, because just like people that watch animals, a lion don't tell you what he eat. He don't tell you what he killed. You watch him, and that's how you really find out who people are. You you observe them first. Absolutely, you observe from a helicopter point of view. You can't observe them up close. You gotta come from an angle of, like, you know what I mean, like who are you? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You gotta do it like
So
that.
you basically saying in a nutshell, you watching without letting them know you watching.
You better be.
Always.
You better be. You better. I call it an investigation.
Always.
I literally do mine like the FBI. I go in. I let you do shit. I don't say nothing. I throw you you know what I mean?
This is
Two
you
little bones.
Yeah, I got you.
This is you embedding in, like, is this you in relationship you when you're going into vetting someone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do it in
Yeah.
friendship and everything.
Absolutely.
In business. You can't
Friendships,
just
everything.
You
But
can't.
But
you
I
got to
even
vet everybody.
bait. Yeah, I even bait. Like, same thing. If, like, when you offer me something, I'm not gonna take it all the time.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I offer something to people and just to see if you thirsty or not.
Yeah.
Same thing a job will do. They'll watch you. They'll sit back on camera. I got a camera on you. How
How many times you walked away from this desk? How many times you going to the bathroom? You on your
Only thing
phone
that
every
keep-
time I'm a creep.
And
I'm watching.
Micromanage.
And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. The only thing that keep me there is the God in me. To say that I hope you can change from who you are and see the God in me and realize you got something.
That's not that. I'm not that. You feel?
Real talk.
You not that.
Realize you
Not
got
at all.
something.
So
Not at all.
when you saying it's the God in you, saying you work for a company or something like that, what do you mean when you say that? When you say it's the God in you to keep you in what situation?
It's the God in me to keep me in that relationship, because I'll see things, right? It's evidence will produce itself and look past it, but I don't look past it in like being naive or being a goofy. I look at it as like I'm giving you grace. I'm giving you mercy. I'm hoping, and I'm throwing you jewels to try to pull you up and try to just give you a little something to let you know I know what's going on. Get your shit together.
Stop playing in my face.
Stop playing in my face.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Are you
So
gonna
you
take
was
heed?
saying
Are you gonna
some
take
way.
heed?
So now are you
get in your
saying?
face and
You
show
feel?
you what's really
And that's
up.
what it is.
But you give enough people a pass,
Right.
but sooner or later that pass gonna be up.
Hey,
You
it
get
get wore out. It get wore out.
And they get really checked.
So are you saying you opposite of what he's saying? Like when you say
I
that?
feel it's exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
It only takes so long. You know what I'm saying?
Take so long for what?
You know what I'm saying? I keep giving you a pass. I keep, you know what I'm saying, looking over shit just to see if you take heed to the signs that I'm giving you.
My will.
And I tell you certain things
To help
to see. Just a test. Are you really listening? Are you paying attention?
Yeah.
It's like school. It's a
You know
lesson.
what I'm saying? Then I implement that in a situation to see if you really standing on that.
For sure.
So okay. So y'all go to school. Y'all implementing lessons. Y'all realize your pupil is a feller. You know what I mean? Rolled up on a short bus. Probably got a helmet on. Then you stay in this short bus ass situation. Then what?
But it
Are
depends
you
on
a
the word.
Are you a
they
special
work?
ed teacher at
Are they
this?
That's
What
a
are they
good.
bringing to the table?
That's a good analogy. So me personally, if I had to answer that question,
Okay.
I'm at an age right now, and I got an old school vibe. I got that 1,000 years. I'm chopping your head off. I'm done with you immediately.
Chop.
I'm not gonna be no special ed teacher. I ain't got that type of skill set.
Come here, man.
No. You got to be qualified to ride this ride.
After so many
You know what I mean?
lessons,
you got to
it's
be.
just a wrap.
And then what I often tell people, this is what we don't do as human beings. God is the founder of your life. You the CEO of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to treat yourself like a corporation. With Microsoft or Amazon, where they let a duck run their company or come in and be a CFO, that's what your partner is. But we don't go through all the qualifications part of it. We'll just
vetting?
accept anything. Yeah, the vetting process.
The vetting
Right.
part.
We'll just accept somebody. But if you really treat yourself like a business, a corporation, they wouldn't make it past the
interview
application
session.
process.
You know what I mean? They would not
lot of
come
them
to the
go
first
past
day.
that.
You know,
For real, they wouldn't make it
they
past the
wouldn't come to
application
the first
process.
day.
But we don't do that. I think it's because we have, and I'm gonna just be honest, I think a lot of us, including myself at times, we be having low self-esteem. And not in a like I don't think I'm great type of way. It's just sometimes
it's a season of low self-esteem.
there you go. And it's part of humanity too.
Yeah.
I'm a humanitarian. I'm gonna give you a chance.
Okay. And then you
I'm gonna give you
also
a shot.
you giving yourself a shot and
Not
you
in a
giving yourself a
relationship.
chance.
Not in a
because-
relationship, no.
No, you gotta go through certain stuff.
No, not
you
in
gotta,
a relationship. Not willing. In friendship, maybe. Relationship,
You ain't going.
no, I'm not going.
A ship is
Because
two people
because
regardless of what.
The person will take advantage and do the most.
You can get that in a friendship,
Yep. And they
partnership,
get cut off too.
relationship. So you
Any
can't.
kind of ship.
See, this is the thing. This is what I have a
Business
problem
ship,
with.
relationship, partnership, you do wrong, you
my
out.
fault.
Because after a while, it brings your value down. You're allowing a person to be disrespectful, dismissive, any type of egregiousness.
Insubordination.
Yes.
Insubordination.
You know, but you can't allow that. You have to truly, when you truly value yourself and you put time and work in yourself, when a person can just be so dismissive and disrespectful, they don't even deserve to even breathe the same air.
Be
So
in your
be
presence.
gone.
Be in your presence.
Be gone.
That's
But see,
a thousand.
Because what I bring in your
That's a
life,
thousand.
it's gonna elevate your life. So if you're not willing to even try to be kind, that's your blessing you miss. What's the beat? What's it? Oh, you missed your beat. Keep it moving.
But back to what you were saying, like relationships, partnerships. You know what I mean? Like when Noah's Ark was created, he.
That's why they didn't get on the boat, because they didn't believe.
I don't know what you're talking about. But when they put two of everything on there, you know what I mean? When they put two of everything on there, it's like two. So you know what I mean? I think regardless of what, when it comes with shit, partnership, companionship, friendship,
But they gotta be
relationship,
compatible.
It's a pair.
It's
You can't. Things even unevenly yoked. You can't. It won't. It
No,
won't
but
work
what
out.
You're right. You're absolutely
We
right.
can speak and we can kick it for a minute, but as we go down the road, we gonna always go this way. Because we don't have the same mindset. We don't like the same things. You don't have the same respect or nothing, so you gotta go. Why I'm gonna keep respecting you and you don't have no type of respect for me?
So we're gonna chill
Absolutely
right
not.
there. We're gonna leave it right
Yeah.
there. We're gonna leave the respect in the bucket right there. We understand how you stand on respect. We're gonna leave it right there. I feel you on respect. So the question is like with those ships, you know what I mean? That same energy that you give on one value of a ship, companionship, relationship, partnership, friendship, it should be the same energy no matter who you're dealing with. And what do you sometimes see that the expectations that we put on our partnership are not those same expectations that we put on our friendships.
Of course.
And the question is,
Yes.
why is that the case? Because my man can come around and violate the hell out of me. But because I guess he good, he good, you know what I mean? That's why I accept the violation. You, my sister in Christ, you violate me one time, you scum of the earth, you bubble gum on the bottom of my shoe, you know what I mean? I don't give you not another
can tell
break
you
in
why.
your life.
Across the
So
board.
I'm thinking
I can
back
tell
to
you
the
why.
That's the
why.
outlet.
Come on,
I'm
I'm done with the
why.
question. Y'all answer this. I want to know.
So they don't want to lose their mate.
No. It's very simple. The investment is different. It's a different investment. It's like your woman is a different investment than your friendship.
Okay.
It's a different layer. You got more invested in a person emotionally. My friends, I'm not gonna react to them emotionally because I'm not sleeping with them. I'm not dealing with them on a day-to-day basis. We have a more distant relation. It's distance between us.
Right.
Your mate is ain't no distance between y'all. Y'all sleeping in the same bed, eating out the same cup. Y'all looking in each other's eyes every day. Y'all soul time, fucking.
Yeah.
Y'all doing too much. It's
Yeah.
a different investment. You spending money on them. They spending money on you. So when you spend money on something, obviously you want an ROI.
Yes.
You want a return on your
Yes.
investment. Your friendships and your other situationships, you not invested as much. So you don't want as much ROI. Whatever I put my money in the most, that's what I want the most return on. I'm putting my most money
In your
in my
time.
most time, which is my most precious
Yes.
asset. I'm putting it into that person.
Okay.
So the return on my investment, it got to be greater than the friendship part. Or the person that I only see on the weekends, we go clubbing and I don't really care about. I do care about my relationships, but I'm just saying it's not the same depth. It's not the same investment.
That's why we
That's
cut
all
off
it
quicker.
is. We as men, I can't speak for women. As men, we invest in women. It's an investment. I want a return on my investment.
It's called reciprocation.
I want
You invest your
residuals.
time,
I
your
want
body, your
dividends.
energy, you develop
I
and you
want all
build a
that.
person up. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So when a person shows that they're not receiving all this, I'm helping you change your mindset. I'm helping encourage you. I'm building up your self-esteem. I'm helping you do better with your health. I'm helping you with your business. I'm helping you with everything, the way you dress, the way other people perceive you. I'm
sure.
protecting you when you in the street. If they talking bad about you, I'm
Absolutely.
standing up for
You work for me.
So, no, but that's
Residual
but,
on the
but
income.
it
You
can
can
be the same.
for her ass. You know what I mean?
But a marriage, a relationship is a business.
It
So if
is.
I'm willing
You
to-
work for me.
If we investing, then you work for me as well.
Not really though, because the
There
investment.
you go.
No. It is a relationship. It is. It is. Because
No.
It's not for me.
No,
can
you
stay
work
in
for
that
me. I don't work for you.
So let me say
That's
this.
what I heard.
It's
So
a
let me say this.
partnership.
It's a partnership,
It's a partnership.
but the investment is different though.
Yeah,
I'm
that-
investing
yeah.
a lot more than you to me. In my estimation, I'm investing my time, everybody is chasing one thing in this world. What everybody chasing in this world? Money. I'm investing that into you, into this situation, so I have more investment in this situation.
So pause right there, Sage. Let me ask you a question.
You
And I
work
get
for
that.
me.
So listen,
That's-
boss.
that's the
Listen,
people.
Yeah,
listen. We
boss,
gonna say
daddy.
boss. You know what I mean?
Boss,
We gonna say
daddy.
boss. Okay.
You work for me. Stay in line.
You can't work
Fall
for me.
in line. You a subordinate.
So question.
Hey, grab
You a
his back.
subordinate. Fall.
Grab his back.
Listen.
It ain't worth
No.
got a
Listen, one thing before you go. One thing.
Okay,
Now hold on.
okay,
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you the right way. One thing before you go on. Everything I just said.
It's facts.
No, it's facts, but respectfully. Okay.
Respectfully.
I ain't on no bully shit.
I did
I'm not trying to bully you.
Camera,
I'm not trying to bully you, but you work for me though.
I do
You
have
work for
Say
me.
all that and keep walking. Keep whatever little money you got, whatever little
It
money
ain't-
you got, and keep it moving.
Ashira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to 67 social.
That is
So,
67
listen,
social.
the
That's
question-
my 67 social. That's what I'm
But
doing.
it's a group.
It
So
is
we
a
gonna
group.
listen on Sage's question. Back to what we
It is a
saying.
group, and I'm
back
part
to
of the
this.
group, so I'm sticking.
You part of you.
You, of course you are.
So what's up? What you gonna say?
So the question is, boss, back to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fall in
Respectfully
line.
take it,
Respectfully.
because I hear what you're saying. So the question is like, when you were saying that put you in that, I'm a employer and I'm taking on an employee. When you're thinking of a relationship, you say that you're investing time. You know what I mean? We're all out here chasing money. You know what I mean? So it's kind of contradictory because the same woman that may be signing up to be an employee, although she's thinking she's coming in as a partner.
For sure.
You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, your bio is not out here saying I'm seeking a fucking employee. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
You out here saying that you're seeking a partner.
No, a man is not seeking a partner.
Oh, okay.
I'm
No,
gonna
a
keep-
man find us a wife. That's what it is.
No. It's
I
a
ain't
different.
hear-
It's
come
a
on,
different.
please.
Not a
No,
wife.
I'm-
Not a
I'm gonna
wife.
give it to you, right? A woman is seeking a partnership. I'm not looking
We
for
are.
a partner. A partner means that we have 50-50. Like it's kind of like it's almost as if I need you. And I'm not no disrespect,
Respectfully
but
taken.
I don't need you though. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for an employee. I need somebody to help me with just like everything she just named. Help me with my image. Help me with my diet. Help me with my facade out into the universe, into reality. I need that.
Got
And so I'm under the belief system of this, right? I think women are smarter than men. Right? I do believe that. Just like we physically stronger than y'all, I believe y'all. But here's why men will always rule this world. And I'm not being on no
Chauvinistic
misogynist. No, I'm not
stuff.
on
We
that.
ain't
I'm
taking
just
that.
being real. This world at its core is violent. So a man is gonna always be at the top of that because at its core, if this shit get wild, if we go into a purge and we go into a war,
warrior.
it's an all-out warfare, I'm
warrior.
on the front lines. You know what I'm saying? And this
Right out.
world is going, and we can live and die off that. I'm talking about civilization. I'm talking about Hitler, just like when if they didn't do what they did to Hitler, that Vic was coming over here and taking everything over.
Right.
That's how real it can get out here. So I'm saying if I'm on the front lines as the man, I'm the leader. This world, I do believe, because y'all have to, women are smarter because they have to use different tools to get what they want.
Yeah.
Mental,
Different hats.
sexuality. You know what I mean?
Hats.
Seductiveness. You have to use different tools. So you, just like men, when we debating with each other, right, at some point we be like, hey, what's up, bro?
You
You
feel
gonna
me?
hit. You ready to fight.
Let's go outside. I ain't been do all this back and forth with you, bro. We don't do all that.
Okay.
Women, that's why a woman will hurt you with her words. Because she's great at that. She understands how to get under your skin.
Yeah.
Because men, we don't go back and forth too far.
Yeah.
At some point, we say, hey, nigga, what's up?
We gonna quit
When
talking,
I ain't
y'all
trying to
quit
talk
talking.
to you, bro. What's happening? Let's go outside.
We are so emotional.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna carry that stuff in this conversation. We're gonna try to link it in this conversation.
Indeed.
We're gonna try to pair it over on here. We're gonna bring it 3 months down the line here. We're gonna still mess with the nigga and still bring it up 4 years later after we had 6 babies by him later. Because we're emotional.
Can I keep it 100 with y'all?
You know,
like,
'cause we
can
are.
I keep
I'm
it? Can
sorry.
I keep it real up here? Why we don't go back to like you being? Excuse my language. I'm just be my bitch. Not in a bad
You
way.
so respectful. Again, 67 social respectfully kind
No, I'm
of.
saying I'm being real. Like, what's wrong with your femininity? What's wrong with you using that tool? Because you can get whatever you want out of me with your femininity. I don't care how masculine I am. If you come to me the right way with your femininity, hey baby, could you
gonna get what you want.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm just like my daughter. Like your daughter can come. Hey, daddy. Same thing. Do the same move. Hey, daddy, I need, and I'm gonna feel important. I'm gonna be like, hey.
It's the slight shit.
I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna talk a little shit, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah.
So y'all both
What you
are
want,
sitting
baby?
up here.
What you need?
Y'all
On the
are
cash
both-
outside. What
But
you
now
need?
it's funny, y'all both are sitting up here like real, like what you would quote unquote thinking like maybe could be street or harder, may not be in tune. Let me take all that back. May not be in tune with your emotions. You know what I mean? From a look of things, like you may have a wall built up that you don't let people that close to you.
No, that's
the
just a
outside looking
masculinity
in.
because
You know what I'm saying?
you have to. I have to operate in this world a certain way, right?
Exactly.
My operating system. You know what I mean? Like an iPhone has an operating system,
yeah,
right?
it is.
I have to
Differently.
operate with masculinity. So, yeah, I'm gonna be masculine at home too. Just like you operate in the world when you go out into the free world. Just like you get out of tickets, you flirt with the nigga
My son call it pretty girl privilege.
there you go.
That's what my son
You out here,
calls it.
you
It's pretty
using,
girl privilege.
you
That's what he
using
call
your
it.
femininity out in reality, right? I'm using my masculinity. I have to be a certain way, so it ain't me hiding nothing. It's just a part of nature. I'm being a beast. Like you have to. We evolutionary creatures. We have to amalgamate to society. We gotta fill in the blanks. A real man gotta fill in the blanks. So it ain't nothing personal. I don't never come on no. That's some bully shit when you trying to bully. I don't hit women. I don't do none of that. But I do believe fall in line.
Yeah.
That's it. That's fall in line. We gonna be good. We straight.
So help the ladies out here. Why don't y'all help the ladies out here that may not understand when y'all say fall in line? Just like y'all may not understand our subtle hints and our little subtle clues that we give y'all. Y'all may give us a little more credit, a little more, you know what I mean? Maybe
Follow my
y'all
lead just a little bit.
That's
when
it.
you say
Follow my lead
y'all
just a little bit.
That's it.
Okay,
Just a
I
little
get
bit.
that.
Just
I
listen to me.
personally.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I may know a different path. You may know a different path on your own. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, I'm the head of the household.
There you go.
I'm standing on this. So if I feel this way for us to prosper this way, let's take this chance.
Okay.
How about back this way? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave. I'm gone. But I may need you to fall back on. You feel me? Be that piece for me. Be my shoulder.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And I know what happened though. I know what happened to women, right? It's a lot of weak ass niggas out here. It's a lot of women it's a lot of women graduate at a higher rate. Y'all get degrees. So women are coming up in the world. Y'all some hustlers, but y'all not built to be in certain situations. Y'all not built to be the breadwinners like that. I don't believe that. I believe you can add to the bread,
table,
to the
exactly.
table,
pot.
but you
Okay.
shouldn't be the table. You know what I mean?
feel
And when
me?
you're not the table, you gotta just play your position. It's like a quarterback on a team. I'm the quarterback. You go out, run this route, right? You feel me?
Right.
I need you to go to the
Right.
tree.
Everybody got their
I need you to go to the tree.
I'm finna throw this ball right here.
I need you to.
And when I
And that's how
throw it,
they
you
go.
need to know what to do with it. You can't fumble the bag.
fumble the
So
bag.
that kind of goes
Simple
back.
as that.
I've often heard men that said like they don't need like their woman to work. You know what I mean? What is y'all standpoint on that?
It
You wanna
depends
go
on the
first?
position. It depends on the position that I'm in as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Any position.
It can't be any position. Cause I'll be a dirtbag ass nigga, bum dirty ass nigga with nothing. You feel me? Not a pot to piss in and throw it out of. You feel me? Are you gonna stand on me still? Are you gonna have my back then? When I ain't got nothing? Are you gonna hold me up? Are you gonna pull my shirt up? You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna be, oh, that bum ass nigga, man, why the fuck I'm fucking with this nigga? You know what I'm saying? My dumb ass, I was through this facade. You feel me? But if I'm up, what's the purpose?
What's the purpose of what? Her working? If
You know
you
what I'm saying?
up, is that what you're saying?
What's the purpose?
Because
if I'm
that
already
same-
taking everything, you add to what's already established. And we just gonna elevate more.
But
You
to
know what I'm
add
saying?
to what's already established, she has to keep doing something because it goes in. Everything that is nothing else going in is constantly coming out. It's going to get depleted. So if she comes across you just because you're a boss, you know what I mean? And she's independently taking care of herself. But because something in your boss ego tells her just to sit down. And then what happens? Boss, you trip your foot. You mess up your ankle. You crack your back. Now you looking at her like, man, you should be able to get out here and go get a job like tomorrow. You know what I mean? What's wrong with you not
That's
being
that
able to...
weak mind state.
No,
That's
it's not a
the
weak
mind
mind
state.
state, but it's a built-up facade. You already told this lady, I'm a boss. Sit down. You don't need to do nothing. You
So-
don't know what's coming down your pipeline
let me-
because you a boss today.
Can I say this? So if you a boss, you got systems set up to, if you do fall or get an injury, that this ship finna keep running.
So the infrastructure should not
It
fall.
gotta be. If you a boss, if you a boss, you got a kingdom. You in
Exactly.
metaphorically. I ain't talking about a real everything, you know, because some of us don't got everything, but we got enough to call it. I'm a boss.
Okay.
So I'm saying if something happens to me, I should have savings. I should have something put up. I should have a way to make money without
Exactly.
your help. That's the way I believe a man should be set up. He should be set up to take care of himself and somebody that comes into his life. Now, I believe that there has to be a balance between you working and what's being taken care of at the crib.
Okay.
You know, or we can try to, if we get enough money, we can have Maria come in
Right.
and clean this thing
If we out
up.
of here,
You know what I
Zelda,
mean? Yeah, like
do
we
biscuits.
can get to it if it's
elevate.
done the
We gonna
right
take
way.
off. We
But
gonna take off.
I don't mind either way, right? I more lean towards the side of my woman just being at the crib cooking, and not in no. And I hate when it feels like a man is saying, I'm dominating you. No, it's just the way it works.
I think
to
y'all
me.
don't
Or a woman
understand.
being submissive to her man.
Simple as that, man.
I think
You know
a
what
woman
I'm
can
saying?
work and still be submissive if that's the case. And I think we use that word submissively a lot of times wrong. You know what I mean? Like submissive doesn't mean you're stupid.
Exactly.
Submissive doesn't mean like
You
you're
a goofy?
somebody
No,
subordinate.
none of that.
You know what I mean? Submissive to me, I think it really means like you said, standing in your femininity.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Being
Exactly.
vulnerable, like remembering small conversations.
Think about it like this. I'm gonna give it to you like this, right? Say we take all this shit from us, right, and we go out into the wilderness, we go out into the forest, and you asshole naked. And we gotta make it 21 days, like they
Naked
got
and
that show,
Afraid.
Naked
Come
and
on, I
Afraid.
love that show. That's
now,
my favorite
who you
show.
gonna
Let's
lean
go.
on
That's
to
my
go
favorite
get that?
show.
Who you gonna lean on to go get that fish?
Right.
Who you gonna lean on to
Who
keep
can
a
do the
bear?
fire starter?
Who can get a fire? Who
Come on now,
you
get
gonna
some
lean on to keep that
resources.
bear up off us? Because when the bear come and that tiger come, even though I can't
Yeah.
defeat him,
Can we
you
get a boa to keep us away?
You gonna keep me? You
Get
gonna
out
push?
there.
Get out
Get out
there and
there.
get him.
You
know what I
feel
mean? Go get us something to eat.
Exactly.
Figure it out. Be my protector. Where we going?
So be
Which route should
vital
we
and
take?
be of value
Right.
to a situation versus just a phase. a face card, a facade.
What you mean about
That's
you
that's
is
that's
the
that's
value.
you.
No, a lot of women don't see that. A lot of men don't see that. That's
See
kind
what?
of
That's-
their
that's-
value.
What, a woman's value in a relationship?
I don't think a lot of men see value in their relationships either. Their place in a lot of relationships. I know we don't. Of course we don't. Because a lot of times I take the back because we come from an emotional state. But I think a lot of times you guys and a lot of times men also don't know their value and they do allow themselves to stay in messed up situations as well too.
Sometimes. Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
true.
So why is it that if a woman does that, she's at a spot where she may be not really loving herself? You know what I mean? She may be having low self-esteem. But when a man does it, he's seeing potential in the woman. He's breathing life into her. You know what I mean? He's working with his employee another season before you serve her ass this pink slip. You know what I mean? Because she should have never been higher. But we're going to get past all of that because some filter, she did make it past the interview stage some way, somehow. You know what I mean? So she slipped through the cracks. HR didn't see this one coming.
It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes.
You know, HR didn't see this one coming.
You asking what's the difference and why a woman gets looked at differently when the relationship don't work out? Because I believe the onus is on the woman for the relationship to work. Because all you have to do is acquiesce to a man. You know what I mean?
So,
if
okay.
I do believe that. I do believe that the structure, the foundation of the relationship, just like you can have a house, but to make it a home, a woman makes it a home.
And you're right.
You provide the infrastructure for the relationship. I provide the outside of it, the base, the home. You make it what it's supposed to be. You lay the groundwork for how it's finna go.
Right.
If you ain't taking care of your business, that's how it comes apart. So you kind of looked at it as, and then you only get so many chances in this life. So we have different standards, right? Women, when they're younger, they get a little bit more leeway because just like biologically, again, you only get a certain amount of eggs. We get millions and billions of sperm. You only get a certain amount of times to get this right. You got about 3-4 times to get this right. I can probably mess up, and it's different though. It's different values that you have. You can walk and get out of tickets. You can get in clubs for free. You can go on 17 dates and ain't paid $1 for. That's why I always say about women, right? Y'all don't feel that $300 bill that come at y'all. If you pretty and you look good as a woman, you don't know what a restaurant bill looks like to a man. You don't know what that $300 is gonna do to you don't know. You don't know how to, because you ain't, as an attractive woman, you ain't never looked at it. You ain't never had a tip, homie, and all.
Right, and I get that. So
that shit hurt.
So the pretty girl card, that pretty girl privilege does come in, but when you had just said, just piggybacking just a little bit on what you're saying, it's like you said it was on us to kind of like dictate that relationship aspect. I like disagree with you.
Fair enough. Of course you do.
And no, the only reason why I disagree with you on this, not the fact that we have to play our position. You know what I mean? But I done seen hella situations when women had played their positions. But because that man in that situation wasn't ready, like you said, after that 90 days, you really realize.
Ready for what?
Whatever that new season may be. Hold on. Listen.
Give me an example of what you're saying.
Right.
Give me an example of what that looks like for me as a man.
Because I don't really know you personally, so it's kind of hard. So I'm only gonna surmise. You know what I mean? I'm only gonna surmise a little bit.
Put it on the table.
You know, at the end of the day, I'm saying, what difference is it that what you're coming with than with another? I think I lost my whole track of thought and everything, y'all. But what somebody else is coming to the table with, you know.
No, you was talking about why it didn't work in a relationship. You was saying a man fumbled, basically.
So, no.
You seen a hell of relationships
I won't say
where
a man
it didn't work.
necessarily fumbled, but I would say women have shown up.
Right.
And that the man may not been ready for a woman that showed up.
When?
That maybe that because he's chosen in other situations where, because we always, the people that we settle down with, as you already know, Sage, the people that we settle down with is a reflection, is a mirror wherever we at in that season of our life. So that's why successful men got babies by bum ass chicks, but went off and married chicks that they don't have no kind of kids with or nothing, because that new chick represents where he's at that status in his life, right now. So I'm going back to say it doesn't matter how we show up in a situation, no matter how 10 toes we down in our feminine essence. If you're not ready for that woman in your season,
So let me
it's not going
let me-
to work
let me-
out
let me-
anyway.
let me
Y'all
give
choose if we're going
So,
to be in this relationship
100%.
with y'all.
100%.
Not us.
I'm gonna give you that.
What you mean?
So listen.
I'm gonna show up mignon I'm gonna show up if I'm messing with you. I'm gonna show up mignon if I'm messing with you or you.
You made
what
your point.
happens is that Sage may be a different. Sage was broke Sage at 13. Sage was acne face at 17. Sage was hitting the gym at 23. At 40 something, you the solidified man that you are, so you can be very optional with your choices right now.
So
you
you-
know what I mean? That want you all the time.
So you was
You
this
probably got an
passionate.
ugly baby mama somewhere.
You was this
know what I mean?
passionate.
I'm just joking.
let me counter what you said, right? That was excellent. That was very. If
I had to bring
if
that back, y'all.
I was in the audience, I'll give you a round of applause, right? I'll give you
Thank
that. But here's the in life everything is off probability. Everything is off percentages. So what you do when you show up as a woman like that, you just giving yourself a greater chance of winning.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean something. Just like if I give my best foot forward in anything, if I go in that job and I really give it my all, I'm just giving myself a greater chance to win.
Yeah,
That don't mean that I'm
to
gonna
get
win.
picked out all
What
of
you
that.
just was so passionate about was what's called an anomaly. That shit rarely happens. When do a woman super show up for a man? Super duper show. I don't know this. I'm a man. I've been around thousands of men. When has a woman showed up and showed out? And that nigga was like, man, I ain't. What you on? What is you doing? Why is you here? What's going on?
Okay.
You just.
But it's something like
No, I'm saying,
something
granted,
like that.
you talking about I ain't talking about a bomb. I only can speak from, like you just said, a boss perspective. I don't know what it looked like to be a bomb. I don't know what it looked like to be like. So I'm speaking from my perspective. If you show up the way that you supposed to show up as a woman, you can't lose with me. There's no way in hell you can lose with me. I don't care. I'm gonna make this shit right. And most
As a
real
man.
niggas that I know, they gonna make that shit right.
my
At the end of the day, they gonna make it right. I know some dudes, I swear to God, I know some guys been in prison all their life.
Okay.
Right now, they with women that I'll be like, man, bro, I don't know how you do it. But they loyal to her because she was loyal to them when they was down and out. And I see that a lot. And I know niggas' heart. I know the hearts of men. You know what I mean? I know the deepest
Y'all want to be
depths of-
committed to too,
And you only
right?
get
Yeah,
fruit.
not
You
only
don't- you
that
don't get a
though,
fruit
most
on
men solid. That's a creep that's gonna leave a female when if she doing what she's supposed to do and he just fumbled. That's a
Definitely
goofy.
she
That's a
doing what
goofy.
she's
That's a
supposed
goofy.
to do. That's
Smooth
a
goofy.
That's
That
the
is
word
goofy.
that we not here. Doing what she's supposed to do for that man. Because what she's supposed to be doing may not be for you. And what she's supposed to be doing is not for you. You know what I mean?
But if
in
she
that
show up in that
relationship,
situation and
you
know what that
fold.
man needs, and present herself in that position, he deny that. Something wrong.
Something wrong with
That's
that.
what he said.
Something wrong with
That's
that.
rare.
Some people know it.
I'm saying that's
Something
rare.
wrong with dude.
I'm saying that's rare. If
That's
we got
really rare.
if we
You know
got
what I'm saying?
different opinions about that, that just show you the difference between men and women. I think that's rare. That a
Exactly.
woman shows up for a man and that a man can't handle that or he just don't make that happen. Typically
Right.
speaking, a woman that shows up correctly, that relationship gonna be good.
What
He used to
happens-
nothing. I can say
No.
he used to nothing.
Okay,
lot of people
so
are.
from a
He used to
man's
nothing having
Used to
not seeing nothing better than what he
But
already
what
in.
happens? That one.
You know
can
what I'm
say
saying?
that again.
So he's
He's not used to
solidified and
nothing.
comfortable in the position he's in. So if the woman show any kind of elevation or any kind of big up in the dude, you know what I'm saying?
And that's when the problem
Showing a little
steps
bit better like, hold on, what you?
But I
What's
told
that all
her this.
about? They
told-
think it's a back agenda behind that because they might have already been through that situation that the woman did through it and backdoored. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to go into that situation, so it all depends on that man.
Absolutely.
All men are not the same.
He wasn't the boss.
You know what I'm saying?
If you a boss, you successful. You know what success looks
Exactly.
like. If this is
Exactly.
my employee, if I'm successful, I know who the good employee is. No.
He's gonna be employee of the month. God dang it! I'm gonna have to come in.
You employee.
Employee of the month. Employee of the month.
Correction.
You gonna get a raise.
Every 30 days.
You gonna get a raise. You gonna get. But I'm using that and I'm being humorous as well. I'm not 100%
for sure.
standing on that. I think you listening to my acoustics, my language, right? I think you bearing in on just like when we use the word submissive. Yes. You honing in on employee. An employee is a great thing. You know what I mean? If you working for it, would you like to work for a company? I guarantee you, most people, if you an employee for the right company, you would take that job right now. With no questions asked. And they said it about that dynamic sometimes. You won't listen to me, but you will go to work and listen to your boss.
So it's reciprocation on the job.
You know what I'm saying?
So, okay, before we go to a small intermission,
you get a new car every 3 months.
Before we go to a small intermission, I do have a question.
What's up?
Yes.
And we're going to intermit on this one. We're going to come back on this one. Just remember it. What if a chick came to either one of y'all and be like, she wants y'all to be her employee, no matter what?
It depends on the benefit package.
I just said the benefits.
You see that? You see that? So I will be an employee. You damn right. Depending on the benefit package.
So
depending on the
you gonna be the queen of everything.
Okay, can we
You gonna
break
be the queen of everything.
Can we get y'all benefit package list together? Goddamn, I want to hear these beneficial packages save you money. What is a money pack? What is a sage pack?
That's fine. That's fine. The dynamic's still gonna be the same. I don't give a fuck how much money you got.
It don't matter. That's fine to be submissive, but to be dismissive.
No, I ain't dismissing.
You're not gonna be that.
I just told you I will be an employee. She just asked me that, and I told her. I just told you I'll be her employee. She just offered me a job.
So now he's coming to the interview asking very AI questions. He said, "What came with the AI?"
Man, we taking a mission. 67 Social, man. We'll be back in a hot second. We gonna answer that question she just had.